Hi, Craig Anderson here with LeadershipMentor.com. This week I'd like to share with you some thoughts about cash balance as a leader. John Maxwell has a couple of really great quotes, and the first one is, "Everything rises and falls on leadership." And when you think about it, this is such a true statement. Think about anything that has to happen, whether it's in business, where it's very obvious we have positional leaders, and so that's a very simple way to look at it. But it's a little different when you think about what leadership takes place at home in a family, for example. What leadership takes place amongst friends. In order for anything to change, to move, has to have some element of leadership in it. Somebody has to take a cause and start to move forward with it or to encourage others. Something has to happen from a leadership perspective. Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Another great quote by John Maxwell, and it just tells us that leadership requires influence. And influence is our ability to get somebody else to do something. So we influence people in a positive or in a negative way. One of the simplest ways that we can influence somebody is through intimidation and force. When you think about it as a leader, we do have different levels of influence. The lowest level of influence would be something like force, where you're forcing somebody physically or you're threatening them in some form or fashion, maybe that they're going to lose their job, for example, if they don't do something. That's very much influence. Certainly is not a very positive form of influence, but it is influence. The other end of that would be respect. So when you climb the ladder of influence and you get to the top level, then you're looking at respect. Respect is where people do what you say and they want to follow you as a leader, and you influence them in a positive way without force because of who you are. So our ability to influence is dependent on our character balance. And I use this analogy as if you think about a bank account, for example. As a leader, every time you do something good, if you tell somebody you're going to do something and you follow through and you do it, that adds to your account. Every time you do something negative, you forget to follow up with a team member, you fail to provide support in some area, that subtracts from your balance. We can only be effective as a leader as long as we're building our balance as far as our character goes. So these are things like honesty, integrity, job knowledge, your dependability. All of these things are things that we would do in our position over time to create this balance or credibility. So where is your balance today? And probably more importantly, are you adding to that balance or are you taking away from your current balance? You will get to a point where your balance is low enough that you can no longer influence other people. You can no longer be a leader without influence. So I just wanted to share with you the context of this idea. Think about these different areas: honesty, integrity, dependability, knowledge. How are you doing in these areas? More importantly, how does your team perceive you in these areas? That's the reality of where you're at. So think about that and then find out, am I drawing from my balance, and at some point will I lose my ability to influence, or am I building on that? So I think that's key for us as leaders, to have really that visual sense that we have to continually be adding to that balance as far as our character. Because there will be times that we're going to have to go to our people and simply ask them to do something just out of faith of who you are. Oftentimes big changes, shifts in organizational direction, for example, would be an area where you really need to rely and have a very healthy balance in your character account so that you can actually draw upon that and just ask them to have faith in you without them fully understanding what the issue is or what the process is. You can't do that if you have a negative or very low balance as a leader. I want to encourage you to join our community. If you simply go to our website and click on Join Our Community, you'll be taken to another page where you can enroll, and it'll allow you to get weekly videos much like this. I also want to encourage you to go and look at our Coaching Skills for Emerging Leaders. It's one of our online courses, and it's full of a lot of powerful ways for you to learn how to coach team members to improve their performance. So I hope you found that helpful, and I hope you have a great day.